Hi guys, Mike here from Ozone Health and Fitness, and if you're watching this, it's part of our Fit at 50 video blog, and this basically between videos and articles and that kind of thing is to get you moving. Sometimes it can be difficult as you get into the wiser years of your life to find a solution that might work for you, and people pick up different injuries from wear and tear over the course of their life as well. So there's a previous video we did on basically get moving, very simple beginner's exercise that you can get stuck into. So it'll be somewhere underneath this video or somewhere in the blog post itself. You'll see a link to click back to that video. So please take a look at that, and it'll get you kind of moving as well. So today, in this video, we're going to focus on kind of mobility. So for people that might find a bit of stiffness or injuries and that kind of thing, how they can move the body better and loosen up before they get into that exercise program, right? So the very first exercise we're going to start off with, Paul is with me here as well, and he's going to be I suppose the demo guy here while I explain what we're going to do and the different movements and that kind of thing. So the very first exercise we want to do is to kind of increase the mobility around the shoulders, right? So again, the shoulders can be something that's very stiff, particularly from slouching at the computer all day. If you're an office worker or that kind of thing, you can develop bad posture. And it's just that we want to kind of, I suppose, stretch it out a bit more, but also increase the mobility that's on it as well. So what I'm going to get Paul to do now, this is the bar, this is inside the PT studio here at Ozone. You can use the bar like this that we have here, or you can just put your hands flat up against the wall and have the same effect, right? So I'm just going to get Paul to demonstrate. So Paul is going to literally put his arms up on the bar here, okay? And what he's going to do is, you can see his back is nice and flat here as well. So what we do to increase the stretch on this, if Paul starts to drop his head down a little bit more, you're basically putting pressure on the shoulders, you're increasing that stretch on the shoulders up along here, okay? So it's just increasing that stretch, increasing that mobility, okay? So just going to get Paul to stand up again. So you can repeat this for 30 seconds at a time. You put your hands back on, you repeat the same exercise again. Don't go too far, make sure it's not too sore as you're stretching. Remember, it's just mobility, but push yourself that little bit extra to increase the range of motion, and that will help give more flexibility in the shoulders as well, and decrease some of the tension along the chest and along some of your lats there along your back as well, okay? So our next mobility exercise is the squat. Now you'll see that we already kind of demonstrated, and I do a voiceover of the squat in our previous video, but I just want to give you some more pointers while we have a live demo here in Paul with us as well, right? So the squat again is, while it is a strength exercise and you add kind of weight to it, whether it's dumbbells or that kind of thing, to increase your strength and the effort that you're putting in, it can also be used as a very quick kind of warm-up and mobility exercise. So I'm just going to get Paul to start off with a squat, right? So if you find, you can imagine that the steps behind Paul here are a chair, right? So all we want you to do is sit onto the chair and get back up. Now you can use your hands out in front for balance as well, like Paul is just demonstrating there. And the key thing with this is, as you start off into your squat, you start by pushing the hips right back down towards the chair and back up again, right? So the key thing with the squat here is, as Paul is going down, is that his back stays nice and flat all the way down, so it's nice and straight up and down like that, okay, and back up again. And you can see, if you pay attention to his knees as he comes down as well, we're avoiding that the knees don't travel out over the toes here. So again, it's just avoiding putting any extra pressure on the knees. So if you just do, I said again, about 10 or 12 reps of this, it loosens up the joints around the hips, the knees. It's very light. You're not carrying any extra weight on it and that kind of thing, okay? So it's just important to remember that use it as mobility, and then you can build it into a strength program by adding extra weight and extra reps and different variations as well. As I said, we're just focusing on mobility here at the moment. So hands out in front for balance, pushing the hips back down as you sit into the seat. Be careful the knees don't travel out over the toes, and you get repeated nice and fluid for about 10 or 12 reps. Okay guys, your next exercise here, mobility, is just a pelvic tilt. Again, from a lot of people kind of slouching at computers, they can end up with very bad posture and lower back stiffness and pain, okay? So all I want you to do is, you're going to be lying flat on the mat here like Paul is, so you can see all of that. Knees bent, feet flat on the ground, head on the floor as well. And all I want you to do is concentrate on just tilting the pelvis up towards the chest, right? So you're not lifting your back off the floor, this is not a full hip bridge. All I want you to do is tilt your pelvis up and back down to the ground again, and back up, and basically what you're doing is you're helping to loosen out the lower back discs there. Again, a lot of people have a bit of stiffness, particularly in the morning, so this is a good exercise that you could do in bed before you even get up in the morning, okay? From here, we're going to progress on to the next mobility exercise, and this is the hip bridge, right? So in this instance, as you can see with Paul here, you lift the hips straight up, squeeze the glutes, squeeze your bum muscles together, and you're going to have a nice straight line from the shoulders all the way up to the elbow, or up to the knee, okay? So remember, keep that nice straight line, and you're going to go back down with the hips again, and you're going to come back up, and you're going to repeat that again for about 10 or 12 reps, just nice and fluid, up and down, squeezing the bum, keeping your core nice and tight, driving the hips up, maintaining that straight line, all the way back down again. So again, it builds up strength in your glutes and it builds up mobility in the hip joint as well, okay? So our next exercise here, guys, as part of our mobility and flexibility program is a great exercise that will help, I suppose, stretch your bone as well, but also your lower back mainly, okay? And the way you perform this exercise that Paul is going to demonstrate here just as I talk you through it, okay? So you're going to pull one knee. So we'll start with Paul's left hand, right? So Paul is going to pull his right knee with his left hand across the body, and he's going to put his right arm over there out of the way, okay? So gradually he's going to pull the knee as far over this way as he can until he starts feeling tension either up along the glutes or up along his back, up into the arm underneath, okay? So he's going to keep going, keep that stretch held for a couple of seconds. Again, it's just building up and flexibility and mobility in the lower back and up along the glutes and things as well. Now what you'll find is this is a great exercise for people who find that they're very stiff getting out of bed in the morning and that they struggle either to put on their shoes, their socks, their pants without a bit of back pain. Do this in the morning before you get up and in the evening before you go to bed, and I guarantee you it'll start loosening out your lower back very quickly as well. Okay guys, your next exercise here on mobility is what's called a pose called the bird dog, okay? Basically what the bird dog is designed to do is increase again your mobility, first of all in the shoulders but also the hips, and also develop kind of core strength that I suppose will build up your overall strength as well, that a lot of people can suffer from in the hips and the lower back again if they've had any issues there in the past. So Paul is going to start demonstrating here. So basically the bird dog is, you're going to extend, we'll start with Paul's right hand. So his right hand is going to go straight out in front of him beside his head, as straight as you can make it. And at the same time, his left leg here at the back goes straight out behind, and you're trying to form as straight a line as you can from toe to hand, opposite arm, opposite leg. He's going to let those two in, and then he's going to do the same on the other side, opposite hand with his left hand, with his right leg. So again, we're building up strength by holding this pose, we're building up strength in the core, we're building up strength in our shoulders, and our glute muscles here are activating as well, and we're building up strength in our glutes. So you can let down that pose again, Paul. So basically it's to build strength ultimately as well, but that slow and controlled movement will build mobility at the same time. Okay guys, moving on from there then, the next mobility exercise is to build in some mobility on the torso, the mid-torso and the upper back as well. So going on from the bird dog, similar type of exercise, we're going to go with the opposite leg. So we'll start with Paul's right leg. So he's going to stick that leg back. Now this time, instead of the hand going out in front, it's going to go onto the temple, your left temple, and he's going to rotate his left shoulder back towards his right shoulder, okay? So it's that torso rotation here on the upper body, and you're going to let that off nice and gently back down, and you're going to start on the other side. So you're going to have the right hand to the right temple, rotating back towards the left shoulder again, okay? So whereas the other one is the shoulder out in front, again building strength in the shoulder. This one is more about not only strengthening the glutes, but building mobility in the upper back and that torso rotation as well, okay? So you have a couple of different exercises there between the squat, building mobility in the hips and the legs. You know, your shoulder stretches there at the start as well, building the flexibility in the shoulder, and then onto the floor work to build mobility in the hip and strengthen the hip and strengthen the core. As I said, this is kind of, again, to get people mobile that have suffered injuries in the past, or just general wear and tear, stiffness, bad posture at work, that kind of thing. Just keep at it, keep at the mobility work before you get into a heavy training session, and it will help you loosen out that bit better, and you'll get better results because of that then.